This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
I'll call the meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. on Monday, November 3rd. The meeting is, everybody saw the notification, but the meeting is being recorded. So to kick things off, free time open to the public. Does anybody have anything that they want to bring before the commission tonight?
After Mark, yes. Go ahead.
I just wanted to let people know that we did get the land grant for purchase of the Florrick property. Means the state will pay for 66% of total purchase and associated costs. There will be a slight change in wording for the annual town meeting in that it's a reimbursement grant, so that we are ultimately going to be requesting the Community Preservation Commission put up the full amount of $426,900, with the expectation that 2/3 of it will be reimbursed after the deal is closed. But I just want to let people know that it did go through, and so we're pleased.
Excellent.
Congratulations. That's great, Mark.
Yeah, thanks.
Really good news. Thanks, Mark. Okay.
I'd like to speak if I could.
Yeah, Kathy, go
regarding the signs.
Yes.
I got some feedback from the Trailblazer Steering Committee, and we are going to change the font on the smaller signs. The large sign, the font will remain the same. The smaller signs will have the font that matches that larger sign. It's a slightly cleaner look, we thought. We're also going to change the text color on the large sign to white, because one of our members pointed out that red on green is invisible to people with color blindness. So we want it to be legible by everyone. So the no motorized vehicles will be in white, and also the small graphic showing a dog walker will also be in white. It'll be more visible.
Okay.
I sent around an email that had a mock-up of how those signs are going to be installed. Evan, you had asked for a little clarification on that. I don't know if everyone saw it. But under the large green signs, directly under that, we're going to be putting that 48-inch wide sign that says no motorized vehicles and pets must be leashed. I went around today and I was measuring the holes, and they're all different widths. So we will not be having the holes pre-drilled. We will be drilling them custom so that they'll fit each particular conservation area. So I guess what I need to know is there further approval or vote that I need so that I can go ahead and tell MassCorp to go ahead and start producing them once I approve the final proofs?
That's a great question. I think with not to add another layer, I'd love to see the proofs after, with the
no problem.
With
as
the font
soon as
change.
I get them, I'll send them out, and I can tell them that we can wait till the 17th for final approval. Does that work for everybody? Okay.
Yeah. The only other looking at the previous proofs that you had shared, I think there were a couple suggestions. My suggestion, of course, is the only one that I can remember. But the sign that had the no motorized vehicles, there was an exclamation point at the end, which I thought was a little redundant.
Okay. I can eliminate that.
So, and then Nicole, do you remember when you were taking notes what the other suggestion?
Yeah, they were mostly around the font questions, which Kathy addressed.
So the plainer sans serif font that's on that larger sign would be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I think just we wanted to make sure that they were streamlined with existing signage that's in these spaces too, so it just feels cohesive in that way.
It's a little tough to
I'm sure
because all the signs are so different, but I think moving forward, particularly if we continue I mean, we're going to have more needs for signs coming up, but we can continue to try and make them more standardized in terms of, you know, sizing, spacing, et cetera. But, so I'll eliminate the exclamation point, and we've changed the font. Anything else? Any other feedback on those?
No, I'm glad that somebody caught the red on green or green on red.
Yeah, I was very grateful.
Right.
Not being colorblind myself.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
ADA compliance is important. So
absolutely. So I will get back to, as soon as I get new proofs, I'm going to tell them to eliminate that exclamation point. As soon as I get new proofs, I will email them to all of you so that you'll have them, and then we can just perhaps do a quick vote on the 17th to move it forward. Perfect.
yeah, I think that works well. Thank you for all the work that you've done to get this
Oh, no
started
problem.
and going and switching sign companies and all.
Yeah, it's been very nice working with MassCore. They're very professional, and it feels
Great.
like we'll be able to get a pretty standardized set of things moving forward, which I think is a real advantage. I just want to give you an update on Nancy Whittemore. I was over there today with Mark Droy. He has mocked up a design for a bog bridge similar to what was built in Alice Brown. I don't know if any of you have been over there, but now that the upper bridge is gone, we've rerouted the trail down to the level place below the gorge. And today we actually decided on a slight change in that we did have it going straight across the stream and up. Now we're going to take, after you cross the stream, bear right and then go up a much easier, less of a fall line trail going up to the ridge.
Okay.
So that's going to be a slight change, but we're going to be getting out and getting that blazed. Someone has been going out actually and putting up the little medallions for trail signs. Does anyone know who that is? I'd love to be in touch with them. But someone has, independently I guess has a pile of those little round medallions, and they've been nailing them up. There's no conflicts at this point, but we are going to be actually blazing more rigorously in there, so it'll be much more obvious what it is. Anyway, if anyone hears about who that is, I'd love to be in touch, because anyone who is stewarding property, we want to really bring them into the fold.
Yeah.
Mark would like you to think about a few things about this bog bridge. It's going to be 50 or 60 feet long. It is going to be about 27 inches above the water level in that intermittent stream. And we're thinking making it 36 inches wide and having railings on both sides. So very similar to Alice Brown. I will be mocking up a drawing of that. He also said that depending on the width and the railings, the cost right now is looking to be about $2,500 to $3,000 for materials. Of course, he donates his labor. So once we have the drawing together, I'm going to start probably next week, start working on an RDA, which will become before you for formal decision about that. But we'll be keeping you apprised.
Great.
There is a spot where the tree fell, where the root ball pulled up a huge amount of soil. That's right next to the trail, and it's a very unstable, almost unavoidable place in the trail. So we do need to think about, I don't know, stabilizing that in some way. And I am not the one to know how that should be done. So we'll probably be asking for some consultation. I might get somebody from Kestrel to come out and look at it and make some recommendations, but we'll be coming back with something about that at some point.
Could the trail be rerouted?
Not easily. It's a place where it's going downhill, and if we bring it away from the edge there, it gets steeper.
Understood.
Removing trees. So I think stabilization, I don't think it's going to be too difficult. It may be as simple as driving some steel posts in to hold the log that's there now, and maybe bringing in some soil. But we'll be exploring that and getting back to you about that.
Okay. Great.
There are two serious tree falls out there that are hung up. They're hanging up, And so I've got several very skillful guys with chainsaws who know what they're about. I think we're going to pull together a team of people and maybe in February, January or February, get out there and try and get those down because they are a hazard. So we'll be looking at that. With the rerouting of the trail so that it avoids the stand of equisetum, there is a very steep area. There is an opportunity to put a railing in there, just attaching it to two trees. So I'll put together some kind of a proposal on that as well to present to you all. I don't think it needs an RDA or anything like that, but you, George, correct me if I'm wrong. It would just be involved with putting some kind of a railing, attaching it to two trees that are adjacent to that steep area so that people could have a handhold, basically. And I'm happy to report that that stand of equisetum has made a huge comeback. We have some of it now standing over 3 feet tall. That's due to our efforts to, number one, reroute the trail, and also our efforts to remove the invasives around there, the multiflora rose. So, yeah, I think, you know, that area, it's in need of a little TLC, but we're going to try and bring that to bear. So, any questions about any of that?
No.
Okay.
Look forward to seeing the proposal for the bridge and
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Oh, one final thing on that. I am going to be, and maybe some of you could weigh in on this. I think it would be wonderful to have an informational sign that explains about the varved clay. I've mentioned this before. So I'm going to be developing some copy. If anyone has any resources or wants to have the input on that, I'll be bringing whatever we propose, and we'll be purchasing a sign to do that.
Okay.
That won't happen till next season, but I think it's such an interesting feature that it's worth, you know, bringing people's attention to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I'm going to be signing off, so I wish you a good meeting.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. Have a great night. Okay. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to bring to the commission during the open time? All right, great. So there's two public hearings tonight. The first that I was going to have bring up is one that was mentioned during the open time to the public last week at 5 Coolidge Drive. And Greg, are you on the call tonight?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. And Greg, could you just for the meeting in notes, can you just identify yourself?
Yep, Greg Mack. I live at 5 Coolidge Drive in Southampton.
Great, thanks. All right, so I know you've been working pretty closely with George. That there was the stop work order that was issued. George has since lifted that, and I see his recommendation for an after the fact RDA.
Yep. Excuse me. I went in and saw George the following morning after the last Zoom meeting, and he was very helpful. Got me all the paperwork I needed, and I returned that as quick as possible with any payments and whatnot. And I'm hopeful the board is okay for this to continue on.
Yeah. Anybody on the commission tonight have any questions for Greg or George?
No questions.
Great.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, George.
if I may, I want to make sure that everyone understands I lifted the stop work order because all of the work that involved land disturbance was already done. It's not extensive, it's basically is concrete piers, and there's no erosion issues to deal with. And the remaining work that I was led to believe needs to be done is all concerning the building, but not the land disturbance.
That's correct.
And yes, you have my recommendations in the agent's report.
Okay, thanks, George. Yeah, so you answered the question that I was going to ask, that if there was this, I know there was one post that was closest, and if there was any disturbance of the land that would cause erosion, but it sounds like the answer to that is no. So
Yes, that is correct.
okay, all right. If there's nothing else, then I think we can close the public hearing. So I would like to make a motion to close the public hearing on the RDA for 5 Coolidge.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Hazel. All right, so all those in favor, Hazel,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Brad,
Aye.
and Kathleen,
Aye.
and I. Great.
Great. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
Well, we're gonna vote. We got to make a motion now to accept George's his conditions here. So I'll make a motion to extend the RDA with positives 2A and 5 and a -3. And since it is a after the fact RDA, no conditions apply here.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Nicole. All right. So all those in favor, Nicole,
Aye.
Hazel,
Aye.
Brad,
Aye.
Kathleen, and I. Kathleen, I did not hear if you.
Oh, I said aye. Sorry.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Take care. Good night.
Okay. The next public hearing for the night is at 31 Lead Mine Road, an RDA. And is anybody here?
Myself. I'm Brittany.
Hi, Brittany. Yeah. Can you identify yourself just for the call?
Sure. Brittany Taylor, representing the property at 31 Lead Mine Road that belongs to my parents.
Okay. Great. Thank you. It's replacing the septic system.
Yeah, replacing a failed septic system, and it needs a new pump system, and it is going to be, I believe, no work within 50 feet of a setback from a wet area or intermittent stream that runs along the side of the property. It's all basically going to be on the opposite side of the house from all the wet areas, and also downside from wet areas.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at the refamiliarizing myself with the map. Okay. Did anybody else on the commission have any questions? I see that George has gone out. He's looked at it and recommends the RDA issued with positives 2A and 5 and a -3 with some conditions. Did you have any questions on any of those, Brittany?
No.
Okay.
No.
Brittany's dealt with those before.
Yeah. Yes. I assumed it was this. How many Brittany Taylors could exist in one town? So I assumed. Okay. Then if anybody wants to, we can close the public hearing and vote on the recommendation.
I'll move to close the hearing.
Okay, and I'll second Brad's motion. All those in favor, Brad,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Hazel,
Aye.
Kathleen,
Aye.
and I. Okay. Does anybody want to make a motion on the RDA? Okay, I will make a motion to issue the RDA with positives 2A and 5 and a negative 3, along with the conditions that George has outlined in his report.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. All right, all those in favor, Nicole,
Aye.
Kathleen,
Aye.
Brad,
Aye.
and Hazel,
Aye.
and I.
All right.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Brittany.
Thank
Guys,
you.
See you,
good to
Brittany.
see you. Have a good rest of the meeting.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye.
Okay, so those were the two public hearings for the night. There's a few other topics tonight. The order, I'm going to switch up the order a little bit. Mark, are you still on the call? Yes, I see you there.
Yeah, she's here.
Okay, so for the rest of the members on the commission, Mark and I have been communicating about the Glendale Road property that is adjacent to SIPTA Farm. So there's been a lot of, this has come up a couple times in a couple meetings now, right? It's close to the town wellheads, but because of the composition of the soil in that area, they don't think that the water department in town does not feel that is a concern. But it is also borders or is part of next to a piece of conservation land. And so Mark and I have kind of tried to figure out the best path forward, right, of this idea of a shared ownership of a pitch to the owners from both accounts, or both the one of the COMCOM accounts and then one of the CPA accounts. We drafted a motion, which I can present tonight. Mark, am I missing anything here?
If I can just give a little further background. Again, the adjacent property is 106 acres, ZIPTA property the town's owned for a while. I think a lot of people use it for recreation. This is 2.5 acres on Glendale Road. The parking area is not on this property, but the current walking path onto the property is. That could be bypassed if we end up not purchasing this 2.3 acres. The Water Commission did not feel it was worth the appraised value of 140,000, passed on it. Open Space wasn't sure that it was worth the 140 of appraised price, but said that we could sort of said if it was a lower price, we could consider purchase. And it came at the last meeting of the Conservation Commission. My memory is the Conservation Commission voted that they wanted to figure out how to purchase it, but there was no specifics about how that was done. And there was some discussion about what was available for potential accounts to help pay for it. And in our discussion, that is evidence in minds, we thought that if some of the money came forward from the Conservation Commission funds and some from CPA, and a purchase and sales, if a bid could be placed through the realtor for this property at a price lower than the $140,000 that they're asking for. Exactly what that price would be is to be determined by this committee and the CPC committee and ultimately the town at a vote at the special town meeting. So the time frame of this, if I think we would want to try to get it on the December 6th special town meeting, and that final warrant, it has to be voted on by next Monday. So this is time to decide if it feels like we want to do it. So we have three pieces of the total package that needs to be paid for. One is whatever the bid price is going to be. We had Evan and I sort of talked about 60, 70, maybe $80,000, and that can be discussed by this committee or something different. And in speaking with people, the idea of within the CPA funds, we can pay for the legal costs, closing costs, and also thought that we needed to do an environmental review of the property before any final purchase, and that also can be built into CPA funds. I'm not sure if it can be built into Concom, but the combined package could do that. And the thought is that the barn that's on it is a liability, and that would need to be removed. Price for that can be anything from $0 probably to $20,000 in attempt to look at what that might be. That is something that can be built into CPA funding. I've clarified that with the specialists at the state level. And although probably can't be necessarily built into your costs, but through a combined package, we can build that in. So potentially, I was going to reckon $20,000 on top of whatever the bid price can be. That may have to come from CPA, but between the total fund package, see if we're willing to put a package together. But it should be finalized tonight, so we can go to CPC vote on Thursday to go to select board on following Monday. If the decision by the committee is made, they want to pursue that. Any questions about that confusing details?
No, that's helpful. Thanks, Mark. I kind of was curious in the vein of like, have we heard any rumblings from the realtor in terms of like what a lower price, like what's that range they would be willing to take since that appraised value is so high?
We don't. I think the town has to decide what it's, my view, okay, excuse me is we just have to decide what the town thinks it's worth, and if they don't realize that there's a reasonable chance, they may not accept it.
Right.
And the only other way to renegotiate that is waiting till the May annual town meeting, because the town has to commit the money before we can put a bid in.
Right.
So
there's a couple ways that after talking with Mark, after looking at the property and talking with Chris Fowles of getting some more background on the water department's response to the the proximity to the wellheads, because that was my biggest concern, right? So taking all of that into consideration, my thought, and I'll be kind of honest here, right? Like it's 2.38 acres. There is a path on it that gains access to the 106 acres, but does not block. Right, it doesn't block that 106 acres. If we did not pursue this piece of property, we still have access from the street, from the road, to the 106 acres. We'd have to build a new path that doesn't cross the boundary, the property boundaries. The water department's, based on what I saw, they've done their due diligence. Even though it's close to the wellheads, there's no risk, according to the professionals on that team, there's no risk of contamination or negative impact, I suppose is the right way to phrase it. So I don't think it's worth the $140,000, especially considering the limited funding that this town has and the potential opportunities in the future, whatever those may be or may not be, right? There's a lot of other open space in our town that, if it came up, might be more valuable for us to conserve. So all that being said, when Mark was talking, he was saying, the 60, 70, 80, kind of in that range. And I was, that 70, that 50% of the appraised, even, is very low, but to a maybe like a private purchase or a private buyer, but knowing we're going to be conserving the land, that's kind of where I was sitting, and then splitting that 50-50 with CPA, because we do have those funds available in the Hazel Young account.
Can I make one other clarification?
Yes.
So there is a potential benefit to the property owners. If they sell at a discount price, they can take some significant tax breaks. And
Yes.
that should be, the information should be provided to the realtor and the owners at that time. It's not the same as getting the full amount as a purchase, but there is some benefits that they can enjoy if they sell it at a discount price.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any questions on that? I know that's a lot of information to throw out there.
That's helpful. I was curious, George, you said at the last meeting there were some folks that seemed interested in the property again, and I was wondering if that went anywhere.
I have learned that I don't know if it's an individual or a group, has put a deposit on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that has been accepted by the sellers.
Okay.
So
I have a question for George. George, this property is buildable property.
To be honest, I'm not familiar with the zoning code to answer that categorically. I do know that one of the potential purchasers wants to put mobile homes on it, and that's a ZBA function. It is my understanding that the possibility of a small single-family home is also going to fit.
Okay.
Mark, you were to say something?
Again, if the town's interested, I think the best we can do is decide how much it's worth, decide if we want to pursue a vote, and that will give Scott an ability as town administrator to put in a bid after the town. It has to wait until after the town meeting because it requires approval of CPA funding. But if we're interested, if we don't act, it won't be an option. If we make a decision and act, it could be an option. My own gut feeling is it's probably trying to go for $80,000. It looks a little better than half price, but that's purely an arbitrary decision, not capricious, but arbitrary. In which case, ideally, speaking as part of the CPA committee, is if the Conservation Commission can agree to $40,000 or $45,000, half of the purchase, maybe some of the other to make up for some of the others. At least a decision what you folks are think it's worth it, and what you're willing to put forward. And that also means that the Conservation Commission would be submitting an application to for CPC funding, and you have a draft of that can be finalized for the difference.
Evan?
Yeah, George.
If I may, I want to put back on my town planner's hat for a moment. It's my opinion that mobile homes in that location would be a disaster. It doesn't fit with anything in the neighborhood. And it's going to detract from the attractiveness, if you will, of the farm property that people would venture onto.
I don't disagree with you. I think it unfortunately purely comes down to money or lack thereof to to meet the asking price, right?
Yep.
I mean, if I had my head pretty well wrapped around the 70K and a 35K coming out of the Hazel Young account, because I think that's roughly it's just shy of what's in there, if I'm remembering correctly. At 80 and considering like 45K, I think we now have that exceeds what we can pull from the 2 endowment funds that we have access to.
Potentially.
So
I think, if I may, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I think going along with Mark's timetable, I think it's critical that the commission tonight decide whether they're going to go on record as saying the town should purchase the property.
Well, more specifically, we need just specific language and an application go to the CPA,
right,
CPC committee for Thursday. So it is much. Just to speak from the CPC, if this committee, means the conservation, says this is what we're willing to put in, and for a bid price of up to $70,000 or $80,000, and submitted an application to the CPC committee, then can figure out the rest of the bundle to the CPC, and they will decide if they are willing to pay for whatever is beyond what the Conservation Commission is willing and able to contribute.
Catherine.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's my cue. So with those 2 trusts funds, the Hazel Young and the Conant, it's about 50,000. If we emptied both those pockets, it would be about 50,000 from those 2 trust funds. So hey, give me a second. So hey, you're okay. So I think like what I'm hearing is, it sounds like it's like for us right now to be like, are we making a decision? We're not really making a decision. What I'm hearing from Mark is, how much would we be willing from Conservation Commission to put towards this? Do we want to put all the 50,000 from these 2 trust funds? Do we want to do some of it? And I think it sounds like, we see the value of it. But to your point, Evan, like, do we want to, is it worth 140? It's a really good question. It's just like 2 acres. And there's also a barn that, would have to be taken care of too, and all those things. But yeah, I guess, is that what we're going to do now, is like come up with an amount? So whoever does the application for CPC on Thursday, there's an amount in the application that we would propose. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And okay. So 50 between the 2. We just heard tonight that there's, potential for a figure 4,000 potentially for a bridge that is going to need it in one of the conservation areas, right? To replace the bridge that was taken out by the tree. So, I like Mark's idea of being a little over 50, not being at 50%, right? Because that doesn't feel as good as being a little over it. So 80K, and Mark, you're at that $80,000 mark. You had said 45. 40 is
well. Again, it's not my money, so I think if the town wants to vote, if the Conservation Commission says we can only do $35,000, and we think it's worth bidding up to $70,000 or $80,000, the CPA application can say we're requesting X amount of money to make it up to the $70,000 or $80,000 plus the associated costs that I talked about of legal costs and possibly tearing down the barn, and asking the CPC to vote on that difference, which would be, if it's 70,000, be 35,000 plus 25 for 55, or going up to 60 if it, 65 if you're bidding at $80,000. So I think whatever the committee is willing to do, and then both to give what you can take out of your accounts and up to what bid price you're willing to you would like to see. And you would develop some language that you can share with people, but filling in the blanks for those. I think that would work. And then I can help you make sure an application's ready to go to the CPC if everyone's comfortable with that.
Okay.
Do you want to show them the motion or share the motion that you developed?
Yeah. Here, I'll let me.
And sorry, Evan and Concom, did you guys, do you want me to repeat like the actual amounts of those accounts? Or is that not necessary? So,
Yeah, go.
Okay.
Doesn't
So
hurt.
just while you're pulling that up, yeah, so Conant Wildlife is 40,903, sorry, 40,903.96. That's Conant Wildlife. And then Hazel Young Memorial is 11,676,092.
Okay.
So it's more than 50, it's, what's that? 41 and so more like 52,000, a little bit more than 52,000 together.
I am and I don't know why my
Mark,
let me see if I can pull it up for you.
Mark, if
Yeah.
you need figures, why don't we work with 35,000 and 80,000? We're willing to go up to 80,000, and we're willing to contribute 35,000. We can vary that among ourselves if we want to do that tonight. But I think we need numbers to put together this motion.
Yeah. I think to me that sounds very reasonable. But the committee has to decide.
Yeah.
This
is the motion that Evan, I can read it if you want.
I can read it as well. I was trying to share my screen, and I don't know why I don't have access. But so the way that the motion, reads that Mark and I had created together is, so the motion is to authorize the Southampton, Massachusetts Conservation Commission to expend up to, and then the dollar amount, so 35,000, 40,000 from the accounts to be determined during the meeting tonight, so likely the Hazel Young account, toward the acquisition of 2.38 acres on Glendale Road from the Shirley Sipta Trust as a portion of a total bid up to, and then the total bid amount. Conditions: this authorization is contingent upon 1, the Community Preservation Committee approving matching funds of their matching amount from CPA accounts to reach the total bid amount. 2, bid acceptance by the trust. And 3, a satisfactory phase 1 environmental site assessment. An additional 5,000 is authorized from the Conservation Commission account for the phase 1 ESA, the site assessment, title search, and closing costs. If conditions are not met, funds revert to the Conservation Commission's account.
I'm going to suggest just changing again, 5,000 for the phase 1 and title search. I think that can come out of CPA funding.
Okay.
Rather than the Concom funding, given you only have 52,000-ish. If the committee sounds like they're more comfortable with $35,000, and
okay, I'm going to just delete that sentence altogether then.
And then when you talk about community preservation approving, it's actually not so much matching fund, but just funding.
Yep.
Getting rid of matching.
Yep.
That sounds good to me. So that motion, if you say it again, we could,
Yeah.
I would
So I don't-
second that.
Yeah, so is our group comfortable with 35,000?
Yeah, I think so. And then are we willing to do up to 40? Knowing that still leaves us what, like 12,000 between those two accounts.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. 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 And what is the full name of the Hazel Young account, Kathleen?
It is, hold on one second. It's the Hazel Young Memorial. And the other account is called Conant Wildlife, like the park Conant. So it's called Conant Wildlife account.
Okay. And Mark, the total bid amount, you had said that 80.
I think 80 is more likely to be successful, although we're still
Sure.
a low chance. It's a guess.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, honestly, like, it's knowing there's an offer in, we're pretty well below this, that obviously there's the tax benefits, but yeah, it's better than 70.
mhm.
Okay. So then the approving the funds from CPA would be, if we're doing up to 40, that's 40 and 40 is 80. Is there anything?
So if you're requesting, if the committee is willing to put 40 in, it means the CPA fund request will be for $60,000 because it will be 5 and 15 plus the 40. If it's $35,000, it goes up to $65,000 of CPA in the application to them, just so you're aware.
Okay.
And there's a chance that tearing down the barn will be less expensive, in which case, at this point, that money is going to go back to CPC committee under this, as it's structured with this vote, as I understand it.
Okay. So do you want me to change that line that I have of the commission may request additional funding for the barn removal?
I think that's fine. It gives the permission for the town to do it, whatever they need to do.
Okay.
Or try to, with the CPA, if we request it upfront as part of the purchase price, we can use CPA funds. If you go to use CPA funds after you purchase it, you can't use them. So if you actually build it into the CPA request for purchase, it can be part of the CPA grant request.
Okay.
And again, I think $35,000 from the Conservation Commission is reasonable given it's such a large percentage of your total, and the additional 5 can be presented to the CPA and is a smaller percentage of what's available to them.
So if we did up to 35, does that mean the 60 is actually 65?
It'll be 65, yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'm going to read this for folks. And sorry, I tried to share my screen again, but I have to change my settings, which requires me to leave Zoom and restart it. So that's not going to happen. So the motion that, as I've written it, to authorize the Southampton, Massachusetts Conservation Commission to expend up to $35,000 from the Hazel Young Memorial account and/or Conant Wildlife account toward the acquisition of 2.38 acres on Glendale Road from the Shirley SIPTA Trust as a portion of a total bid up to $80,000. the conditions. This authorization is contingent upon one, the Community Preservation Committee approving funds of $65,000 from CPA accounts to reach the total bid amount. 2, bid acceptance by the trust, and 3, a satisfactory phase 1 environmental site assessment. If conditions are not met, funds revert to the Conservation Commission account. Barn removal, the Conservation Commission may request additional funding from the Southampton CPA for removal of the existing barn structure if needed. And I realized I said Community Preservation Committee, but it's not committee, is it?
It's committee.
So then it's not CPA, it's CPC. Okay.
Well, it's this Community Preservation Act, and the local committee is doing the work required by it. It's confusing.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on that giant mound of words that I just said?
No, that sounds great. My only question is, and I was gonna wait to ask it, but are you going to come to CPC on Thursday with this application? I'm gonna be there anyways, but I'm like on the board or I'm on the committee.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we have to get this in that meeting, Mark, right?
Yes.
So what time?
It is
6.
Okay.
6. Thank you.
Yeah, I will try to make that work. And if not, I will let somebody know on the commission within the next by tomorrow.
Okay.
So, any other questions?
The CPC, right, Mark? It's a great bunch. it's always such a good it's a good time. No one's like, everyone's working with each other to make projects happen. They want projects,
Sure.
They're not scary at all. So it's a good bunch.
Okay. If nobody has any other questions and folks are good with how this is sounding, I'll make this motion since I have it in front of me and I don't expect anybody to have memorized what I just said. So I would like to make a motion to authorize the Southampton, Massachusetts Conservation Commission to expend up to $35,000 from the Hazel Young Memorial account and or the Conant Wildlife account toward the acquisition of 2.38 acres on Glendale Road from the Shirley SIPTA Trust as a portion of a total bid up to $80,000. Conditions. This authorization is contingent upon 1, the Community Preservation Committee approving funds of $65,000 from CPA accounts to reach the total bid amount. 2, bid acceptance by the trust, and 3, a satisfactory phase 1 environmental site assessment. If conditions are not met, funds revert to the Conservation Commission account. Barn removal. The Conservation Commission may request additional funding from the Southampton CPC for removal of the existing barn structure if needed.
I'll second that.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor. Nicole?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
And Hazel?
Aye.
And I.
Evan,
George?
could you please get me the exact wording of that motion as soon as possible? Because I'll put it in memo form to the chair of the Board of Selectmen.
You didn't write it. You didn't write that down.
No, I'm sorry, I missed a word here or there. So I want to make sure I got exactly what the commission did approve.
Yep, I'll send this out. I'll send this out right after the meeting today.
Thank you all for your support, and this is a tough decision. I can help make sure that you have an application can be sent over to the committee, Evan, and just consistent with this.
Great, Mark, and thank you very much. And folks, when I said earlier that Mark and I have been working on this together, it is mostly Mark. So I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great night.
Yeah.
Evan, can I just note that, can you CC me on that email?
Yes, I was going to say yes for note taking.
Yeah, thank you.
Purposes. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thanks.
Okay. So other topics that we had in regular business, one was vice chair. So I know we talked about this last time, Brad. You missed some of the discussion that we had last time, but basically, is anybody interested in taking on the role of vice chair? If I'm absent, or to just share some of the responsibilities. And I know I said your name at the beginning of that. That's not me saying, "Hey, Brad, can you do this?" This is this is more of a, "Hey, I'm bringing you up to speed here." So
I'm not taking it as such, Evan, but I'm willing to do it. I'm a little weak on the procedural, and in my previous work as a chair of the Hampshire Regional School Committee, we didn't have public hearings every meeting. We had them maybe twice a year to do the budget, and maybe if there were disciplinary matters that had to come before the full committee. It's a little different process, but with your assistance and George's assistance and the rest of the committee, I'd be willing to do it.
Awesome, that's great.
Thank you, Brad.
Sure.
And Brad, I have some material I'll be sending you that helps you in terms of running a meeting process.
Great. Thank you, George.
Great. And before we vote on that, and I don't mean to put this in front of you and then take it away, but Hazel, you had said that you were potentially interested. Before we move forward, does this work for you?
This does work for me, yes, because it was the time component that I really wasn't sure. But I mean, like Brad said, I'm here to help whenever I can, so I'm definitely good with that.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Does anybody want to make a motion to? Do we have to make a motion to nominate, or can we make a motion to accept or appoint?
You can do either one.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Brad as the vice chair of the Conservation Commission.
And I'll second that.
Great. Thank you. All right. All those in favor, Nicole?
Aye.
Hazel?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
And aye. Excellent. All right. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
Welcome.
Yay. Go team.
Yeah. Cool. And George, you had the fiscal year 27.
Yes. At the last staff meeting, we were informed that they're going to start up the budget process hearings for the FY27 budgets. I believe I forwarded to the commission what the FY26 budget is currently. From a very personal standpoint, I'm going to beg the commission to please, when they decide on the budget, to formally request that they budget my salary for the year.
Yes.
Secondly, and I would defer to Kathleen on this, but I feel that other than the agent's salary, a no increase budget would work. was going flat. Because the only thing we really get from the town in terms of a budget appropriation, besides the agent's salary, is that account where we buy our office supplies and pay my mileage and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And it's currently, I believe, help me, Kathleen, at $6,000, and that seems more than adequate.
Wait, so are you saying for next year we should budget $6,000 again?
Yeah, I would recommend that. And given the same amount we requested for the agent's salary in the FY 26 budget, which obviously didn't get approved because of background things that didn't work out, but I would recommend the same amount because as far as I know at this point, my hourly wages are not changing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I briefly looked at that spreadsheet you sent us.
Yes.
Today. Yeah, so I guess what do you need from us and what does the town need from us in the next, few weeks?
I don't think at this point the commission has to make any formal votes or decisions. However, I'm going to put this on again on the 17th agenda, and by then I think the meetings will be set up and we have to have some idea of where we're going.
Do we need?
And again, I would recommend a flat budget, no increases as to what we submitted in FY 26.
George, I would agree with that, but I would put that contingent language that was included on one of those forms that if there is a wage increase in the town, that be included in your salary.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yes, I agree. I was very, very surprised to learn that all of a sudden my salary money wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, George. Now, with the warrant, I think Mark had said that the warrants were being drafted, or the final day for the warrants is next week.
Well, if the commission is favorably disposed to keep everything flat, I will, for the next meeting, in conjunction with Kathleen, set up a proposed budget that the commission could formally vote on.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense of, keeping the revolving account flat, and then I absolutely want to make sure that we have, that we are requesting a budget for your salary.
Yeah.
And Brad could call on the, contingency of the, if there is a bump that's accommodated for.
Works for me.
Great.
I just want to note, because Kathleen, I believe you can't make it to the next Concom meeting.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. I was about to say that too.
Yeah, and just knowing that you have a good grasp on the budget. So if you have any feedback to share before the meeting, when George sends the proposed budget to vote on, would totally appreciate that, because I just know that you have such a good grip on it.
Okay. Well, thank you. Trying to get a grip on it. But no, I was actually, you just read my mind that since I won't be here at the next meeting, George and I, let's be in touch about it. So George and I both have questions about our accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And we were working with the treasurer this week to see what information she had. I actually don't even have an updated report tonight because there's a lot of things pending, right, George? I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but we met last week with Megan, who's the new treasurer. She's great. But yeah, so I hope to do my homework and then get that information you guys before the next meeting.
Okay. Thank you. And I'll probably reach out, Kathleen, at some point just to share some of that knowledge with me in advance of the.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
Great. All right. I was going to move us along to the treasurer's report, but sounds like we can skip that tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, so acceptance of minutes. Nicole, thank you for sharing those. George, I saw that you had made a couple changes.
Yes, I did.
And then,
I sent them to Nicole. Nothing really substantial.
yeah, no, these are very detailed and great. Thank you.
I'll make
I
a
didn't-
motion to accept minutes. Oh, sorry, Evan, you wanted to add
No,
something? Okay.
you're moving us right along. I like
right.
it.
Okay. I will make a motion to accept the minutes from is it October 20th?
Yes.
Well, sorry, October 20th meeting. It wasn't in front of me.
I'll second that.
Great. All right. All those in favor? Kathleen?
Aye.
Hazel?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Brad?
I'm going to abstain. I was not present at
Oh, right.
that meeting.
I'm just working through my the names on my screen. Yes, thank
Sure.
you.
No.
And I. Excellent. All right. Any items that can't wait until the November 17th? It's the 17th, right? November 17th meeting?
George, do you mind just repeating what you mentioned at the start of the meeting around the bylaw with the quorum?
As soon as it's incorporated by, I forget the people who are doing it. We are supposed to get brand new paper copies, at which point the commission will get paper copies, and I'll make sure that the changes go on the website.
Excellent.
What is that change?
What was
And
that?
what was the change in the bylaw?
Well, the big one is the fact that they changed the quorum from the total number of seats available to the total number of seats filled. So right now, a commission quorum would be 3.
Oh, okay. Great.
Thanks, George.
Thank you, Nicole, for that was
Yeah, I wasn't sure if everyone was there at the
Yeah,
time.
I think when I logged on, I caught like the last half of it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. If there's nothing else that folks want to bring up, then someone can make a motion to close.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:09 p.m.
I'll second that.
Great. All right. All those in favor? Nicole?
Aye.
Brad?
Aye.
Hazel?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Thank you all. Have a great
Awesome.
Good night.
Thank you.
Everybody.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.